What's up, boys? Valentine here. I promised you guys a Paladin guide. Well, here it is. Let's get right into it. We got a stat sheet here. Everything that you need to build for yourself in order to become a god at the Paladin class. We start, of course, with our strength, which is going to be 170. You want to max this stat as much as possible. It's responsible for the swings of your attack. It's responsible for your taunt spell. It's responsible for your divine strike damage, of course. And also it's responsible for your shield block, which is very important. You definitely want to scale this a bit. You want 75 agility. It doesn't give you anything, just straight up. Don't ask why this is a requirement. But you need 75 agility for some reason to equip heavy armor. So you gotta waste the stat regardless. If you don't have 75 agility in the late game, you won't be able to equip any of your weapon, any of your armor. And it's just gonna be red. You don't want that to happen. So you just get the 75 agility. As you level up, you don't really need to waste your leveling prowess. You don't want to waste this and not be able to clear the mobs, right? Do not get agility that fast. Just scale it as you see that you can't equip any heavy armor. So if you see that something's red, it's time to upgrade your agility to make sure that you can equip it. And just make sure that by the time you're level 25, you got 75 agility. Otherwise, you're gonna cry. Trust me. I already had a character that was bricked because of this very specific reason, right? So I had to re-roll a character, level this one in literally one day, grinded all day, and then I could equip my fucking armor again. Right, so keep that one in mind. Intelligence, 110. Why do we go 110 intelligence? Because we can go to 260 courage. Courage gives you stats on your Radiance and Holy Wrath, but it's not enough. You need more. Definitely need more. So what you do instead is you grab the cheap intelligence right here. Instead of going to 170 courage, you grab 100 intelligence, 110 intelligence as I have, and you will heal for insane amounts. I mean, look at how big my heal is. It's literally for a total of 1,700. That's like half my health, right? Insane heals, and you can basically just work as your own cleric. There is a build that you can go where you can switch some strength for even more intelligence, and that can work just fine if you're interested in that. Holy Wrath is a giga spell. You definitely want to use it. I think personally it's kind of insane. I've been leaning more into intelligence and courage myself. As you can see, my weapons are with intelligence and courage, and that's because you'll see right here, I probably play some PvP footage for you guys right now, and you can see your Holy Wrath is your PvP spell. There is no other spell that you use as a Paladin. This is your greatest hitter. It's your greatest damage, even in PvE. So you definitely want to invest into this one. I think it's far better than just going pure strength. But you still want to max out strength as much as possible because it's responsible for your accuracy, your parry chance. It's responsible for scaling all of your tanking abilities. So you do need quite a lot of strength. I just advise you to also get some intelligence. And preferably, you even focus a little bit on intellect here. Or courage. You can switch these intellect gems for courage, but those are more expensive and harder to get. I just went with whatever I could put on my items, right? To be honest with you guys, anything works. Okay, you go courage, intelligence, or strength, doesn't matter which one it is. Preferably, like if you had to pick one, put full courage, is my recommendation. But if you can't, if you don't have enough of them, just go with whatever you want. I just want to show you guys real quick. There it is. Shattered gems. This will remove all socketed gems from an item. So you just need to win one arena game, and you can just undo these. So just use whatever you have, and if you want to min-max, you can take those off and replace them with the new gems that you picked up and sell the old ones. So it's really not that big of a deal. Don't think that these are stuck here forever. You can always remove them at your leisure. The problem is that they break when you enchant them. So it's still a bit of a waste, but fuck it. You know, you gotta make do with what you can. So yeah, 110 intelligence, 150 courage, recommended. You want to grab some meditate. Longer fights definitely lack mana, so you want to grab some meditate to keep yourself topped up. It's not a whole lot. It's up to 243 experience, but you know, it's good to have. You don't want to grab any regeneration. Trash stat. Ignore that one. I grabbed a little bit of critical, not too much. Not too much critical, but a little bit, up to 510. It's serviceable. You don't want to go too much because you don't do too much damage with your melee like anything like a range class. A ranger does a whole lot more damage than you anyway, so you don't want to bother trying to compete with their damage with your melee spells. But one spell that does compete with ranger is your Holy Wrath. This, I've crit for 3000 with this. So you gotta keep that in mind. It's a very good spell. This is like your main spell for damage. Overall, your melee will still do more DPS. That's why you still go strength. Right? Like if you were to take the DPS meter and check how much damage your melee did compared to your spell, obviously your melee is gonna do more because you have your melee swing, you have mighty blow, you have divine strike, so it's gonna do more overall. But you still want to focus a little bit on your Holy Wrath because it's a big crit. Block rating, you want to grab block rating as much as possible. I would argue that you should probably grab even more block rating, but it's nice to have a mix, right? Let me just cancel this. As you can see, I got 630 block rating. I got a lot of it on my items. It's a really good stat to have, but you don't want to... Well, actually, you do want to stack as much of it as possible. This one gives me another 500, so I got like 40% block chance, something like that. Good to have. It's good to have. Now, more importantly, you want to grab one of these. Doesn't matter which one it is. Grab whatever skill you can get. Whichever one you prefer. Really, it's just aesthetics for this. So don't think it's a big choice. No weapon is really special. It's just the weapon that you chose. That way you have to focus on that item set. I went with maces because a lot less people go with maces. People like swords. A lot of people are role-playing with swords, so it's sort of you pick maces because it's the least likely option, which means that your items are going to be cheaper. Very small trick here. And obviously shields. You always go with shields. Shields give you block chance. So more block chance, more power to you. You're a tank. You got to get the block chance. So 190 shields. Lockpicking. For lockpicking, we got 100. The reason why is because it's more loot, and it's a very cheap skill to get. So you just grab it because it's like more loot from every single dungeon that you get. Every single solo dungeon has a level 100 chest, so you want to grab the lockpicking to get the chest. It's really that simple. Now, if you're playing in groups, if you have a pre-made, just get one guy to get the chests, and you can save yourself the experience. If you're not a solo player, just use these stats on block chance, or anything else that you'd want. But if you are a solo player like me, you grab the lockpicking. Skills. Let's go over the skills. You want your Blessing of Champions at 5. You don't want to max your Wings of Freedom. That one's actually trash. It's a 2-minute cooldown, and you can only block one spell anyways, right? So what'll end up happening is you can just pop Wings of Freedom to... it got buffed recently. So just want to clear this one up. It got buffed, so now you can make yourself immune to fears and stuns. So you just pop this one when you see one of those mobs that have a fear start charging their fear, and you can block one fear every 2 minutes. It's really not that impactful, and you can only block one of them anyways, so you don't want to max it out. I wouldn't spend the experience on it. Blessing of Champions is a must. Very strong buff, 6% attributes for everything. Obviously, you want to max this one. 10% parry chance. You're a tank, you want the parry chance. So obviously, you get your Blessing of Defense to max. Charge. It goes from a 1-second stun to a 2-second stun. Who gives a shit? Don't upgrade it. Waste of experience. Cleanse. There's nothing to even cleanse in the fucking game, to be honest with you guys. I don't know why this is even in the game. There's no There's literally not a single boss that has any consequential mechanic that you need to cleanse. Waste of fucking skill. You can't even upgrade it to begin with anyway, so I don't know why I'm talking about it. Divine Strike, very important. Your main DPS spell, you want to get this one to 100 as much as possible, even early on in the game. This is your main spell for damage, so you want to max this. Fortification Aura, big damage reduction spell, max this one, 100%. Divine Protection goes from 5 seconds to 10 seconds. Definitely want to get this one for soloing content. You don't really need it. I would actually recommend you skip it most of the time. If you're a group player, if you need to use Divine Protection, you're gonna get your raid killed anyways, right? So, preferably you don't use it. You just use it to dodge a big spell, like the firebolts from the dungeon. The way I like to use it is I use Divine Protection to dodge one fireball volley, and then I immediately pop it off. I go into the debuffs here, and you right-click it to take it off. And that way you can just go right back and use your taunt spell here, your Mighty Blow, to retake aggro. Because when you use Divine Protection, it clears all your aggro, just like it does in World of Warcraft. Holy Wrath, definitely max. Big damage spell. You want to grab the int as well, as we've already talked. It's your biggest nuke. You always want to make sure that you pop as much damage with this as possible. If you get a mage buff, this hits for 2000. Okay, it's insane. You definitely want to get this. Heals, it's literally your most important spell. It's literally more important than your damage spells. If you got enough heals, you can solo all the content. And I got enough heals, I can solo a world boss. Not the PvP one, but like the small PvE one. That's the Minotaur. I can solo that one. So I'd say I'm pretty fucking set. Especially considering that if you try to group, everybody's gonna try and steal your fucking purple orb. The Minotaurs in the open world, for those of you who don't know, they drop a guaranteed purple orb. So if you can go from channel to channel and farm those, you can get infinite money. One purple orb is like 40k on the market right now, so you can just farm those solo and make big cash. Hammer of Might, useless. It's 45-second cooldown. Upgrading it doesn't upgrade the stun, so why the fuck would you put any skill points in this? Skip. Touch, can't upgrade that one. Obviously, you max out your Mighty Blow because it's your taunt. Retribution, useless. Okay, all it does, increases your damage by 15%. Do you really need 15% extra damage every 30 seconds? No, waste of your fucking experience. So skip, can't upgrade. Definitely want to max this one. It's kind of situational, actually. If you want more experience for your base stats, I would recommend you skip Vengeance Aura. But it's nice for solo leveling, just to clear faster. Overall, I wouldn't say it's a must. Like, if I could re-roll for cheap, I would actually re-roll this one off and grab something else, like extra intelligence, just to upgrade my heals instead, right? Because I'd rather have more survivability and be able to solo more content than stick with this thing, right? You don't really need all the extra damage, but it's nice sometimes because in some situations in dungeons, you'll find yourself thinking, well, we could just nuke something. So instead of taking mitigation, you use Aegis of Valor, and you pop Vengeance Aura instead of your Shielding Aura, right? And then you do big damage with your whole group, and you nuke the mob, and that way you can prepare yourself for the next mob that's frozen far earlier. So yeah, it's good. It's situational, but it's good. But you can skip it, right? Righteous Storm, obviously you want to max this one. It's your big damage amplification. Definitely want to grab this. Salvation Aura, this is a must. I can't even begin to emphasize. Normally it's at like 15%, so you think to yourself, wait, why would I want to buff this? It's going to go to 20%. Wrong. It goes all the way to 40%. So you definitely want to grab this one, especially considering that magic damage is the greatest source of damage in the game. So you want to get Salvation Aura and pop this every time a boss does a big volley, and you will see that it goes from everyone's getting one shot to Now no one's getting one shot, and you can very calmly clear the boss. Shield block, obvious max. It goes to 6 seconds. It scales with your strength and your willpower, but no one gives a fuck about that. And you just get a whole bunch of block rating. Mine right now gives me 496. With the buff up, it's all the way to 527. Very big amplification. It's like 20%. This just by itself gives me 20% extra block rating. And obviously, block Aegis of Valor. You max this one. I don't think this is too much of a mystery. Alright guys, so we went through all of the skills and all of the stats. Now let's do the items really quickly. I'm just gonna hover over my items here. Stop whenever you want. Just gonna go through this really quickly. So yeah, very important to note, you want to get to 270 armor value. The rest of it will be made up for when you upgrade your items with gems. You get +1 armor with gems, so you will make up for the rest up to 300 armor value by upgrading your items. You don't want to overdo it. Armor value goes up to 50% damage reduction, so that's why you want to get 300%. You're a tank, obviously you want to max this out, but you don't want to overcap it. I got 3 items that give me armor value. I got my pants here, I got my shield, and then I have this ring here. That's about 30 each. Right. And then for weapons, I went Intelligence, Courage. That's because you want to get big heals. That's the way Paladin solos all the content. You just heal right back up and face tank everything. And that's the way to do it. And then you just destroy everything with Holy Wrath. As you can see, it was critting for like 3,000 if you have the mage buffs. And that's really it. There's not much else to say. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed all the footage of me soloing all the content and doing arena. It's very easy. You can just kill everything. You're basically just face tanking as a paladin. It's the easiest class to play. You don't need to do anything elaborate. Just fucking kill them, right? You just run them down. And that's the paladin way. Have a good one, guys. It's been a pleasure. And I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know if you need any more guides for anything. Just leave a comment down below and I'll make sure to make one. Have a good one.